Well, very much looking forward to this semi-final battle between these two ladies because, Gigi, the head-to-head is 2 apiece. It's set to be a very tight encounter given it's a semi-final battle.
And all but one of them have gone the distance, and we've seen some great matches so far today, and I'm really intrigued to see how Eliz Maloney stacks up against Beth Grey. She got that great win against Freya Christie. I mean, it was so tight in that group as to who would go through with Beth Grey. But I think back to the tennis that Beth was playing in week 1, which was absolutely stunning until she came up against Emily Appleton in the final. There's a little bit of an age difference between the two. Maloney, the younger of the two, she just turned 20. I think this is going to be a very intriguing encounter.
Well, she's also, Eliz Maloney, got Joe Jury in her corner. Former world number 5, of course, just sitting a couple of seats behind us. That's a pretty good person to have in your corner for this type of match.
It certainly is, because she trains at the Jet Academy that Joe runs with Alan Jones, and it must be wonderful to look over and see someone like Joe Jury. But then again, Beth can look across and see her boyfriend, so I'm sure it's equally as wonderful.
Exactly, and well, certainly for Eliz Maloney, you can see Joe Jury sitting there in the shot, ready and waiting for this match. She showed up on Wednesday when Eliz had to play Freya Christie, got that incredible victory. Freya, the top-ranked player in the ladies' event, that will give her so much confidence coming into this type of match.
It will give her so much confidence when you think in week 1, and we've seen the turnaround from a player that finishes 8th in week 1 to come round. Now she's playing to be in the final tomorrow, and the confidence, as you say, a win like that can give you. And Freya Christie's been playing some great tennis, the higher-ranked player. She's now playing in Beth Grey, a player around the same ranking as Christie, just a little bit lower, but she will take that confidence from Wednesday and from having Joe Jury sat alongside her to see if she can go one step further and book her place in the final.
But how about Beth Grey too? She's going to be extremely hungry to get herself back into the final. A lot at stake, points, prize money of course, and she'll want to go one step further yet again.
And she'll be looking for a little bit of revenge if she can get back into that final and face Emily Appleton once again. But the ball striking of Beth Grey in week 1 was simply stunning until she came up against Appleton in that final. She will have the drive, she will have the momentum, she will have the motivation. And as you said, it's points, it's money, it's all leading towards finals week in November. And I think Beth Grey will be full of confidence from what she achieved in week 1.
Well, the balls are inching closer and closer to you, Gigi, so I'm going to send you off to the commentary box to go and join Abigail Johnson, who is already there to take away this women's semi-final.
And what a battle this one could turn into. You heard there the head-to-head locked at 2 wins each. And for Beth Grey here on screen, it's been a bit of a tournament of 2 halves. Got going quickly. Looked pretty dominant in her opening matches, firing, using the big serve. And then her last 2 results have just got a little bit closer. Match tiebreak each time, and actually dropping the last match up against Danielle Daly yesterday. So she's going to hope to get back to her peak for this semi-final. You can see there the confirmation that she is a lefty. That brings its own tricks and weapons out to the court. She has a wide swinger serve that can be trouble for any opponent, including Maloney, and she'll know the danger that that can bring. Born in Cyprus, her parents are from there, Maloney, but now based at the JET Academy, and I spoke to her just briefly before the match about the fact that Joe Jury is courtside. She was present for Maloney's biggest win of the round-robin stage as well, over top-ranked player in the draw, Freya Christie. And Maloney said it did feel a bit surreal the first time when she looked over and saw Joe Jury courtside, just seeing the 2-time Grand Slam champion there watching over her. But she has worked with her for about 3 or 4 years now, so she's used to her keeping a careful eye on what she's doing on the court, and has certainly found help from training at the academy there. And we've seen Maloney making strides here at the UK Pro League. She brought a good level in week 1. She really troubled the top-ranked player on that occasion, Alicia Barnett. She was 4-1 down in the second set, extended the match, took it to a match tiebreak, but did end up finishing in 8th place. Here she guarantees herself 4th at the minimum, so she'll be very happy about that, but gunning for the final. She's definitely shown that she has the fight and the level to get there. What do we expect from this one, Gigi?
Well, just thinking when you're talking about guaranteed 4th, and Elise finished 8th last week. In terms of the prize money, which is a very important part of the UK Pro League as they look to get funds to fund their career, so she'll get a minimum of £2,000 plus the £500 appearance fee, and what for 8th last week it would have been £750. I mean, it's so important for these players to be getting these matches and to getting that money, so when they go back out and tour in the world, hopefully once again opens up, that they're able to continue their career. As to what I expect a tight one, as their previous 4 matches have been all but one going the distance.
Here we go then.
Second in box A for Maloney with a total of 10 points and those 4 wins and 1 defeat.
Love 15. Love 13.
Eliz did mention that she wants to try and keep on top of Grey out here and not let her push her too far back, which will explain the double fault on the opening point. Just feeling the need to go for a bit more on that second serve. She knows the consistent depth of ground stroke that Grey can compete with.
$15, 30.
So wins for Maloney against Anneli Olivel, who made her debut in this tournament in week 2, and Kimberly Pacusa, who also making her debut. That great win against Freya Christie. Win against Olivia Nichols. Those 2 matches coming through in the Champions tiebreak, and then the defeat to Emily Appleton. Appleton, who awaits the winner of this match in tomorrow's final.
All.
That forehand is going to be such a key side for Grey today. I'm thinking particularly back to what I felt was her most important and biggest win over Kylie Bilshev, who'd taken her down the wire in week 1, and that first serve and forehand combination served her so well.
Just rushing into that forehand Grey. And Maloney with a chance to hold serve and settle herself into this semi-final.
Cheers.
You can already sense the battle this is going to be.
Advantage Maloney. Cheers.
Yeah, I think a real sign of what's to come in this contest.
Both of these players, probably the 2 in the whole draw that can just rally for days. Both of them walls at the back of the court. But something has to give out here.
Advantage Maloney.
Bit hit and miss early from Grey off both wings, just taking her time to settle into this.
Deuce.
Got around that return nicely to find the placement on the forehand side. And the footwork is going to be really key for both players out here. A lot of moving.
Advantage Maloney.
Five years difference between the two. Maloney the younger at just 20. Ranking of just inside 1200 in the world. Has been just inside 1100. Decided to turn pro at 18 if she wanted to build on her momentum, saying that there was always time for university a little bit later.
Game Maloney.
And there it
First
is.
game.
If it is a sign of things to come, then everybody should settle in and get ready for this battle. But Maloney will be very happy that in this first game of the semi-final that she's held serve.
Yeah, fasten your seatbelts. This could get long and it could get tough.
Now a first look at Beth Grey's serve, 25 years of age, a ranking of 643, British number 20. The runner-up in week one. Look to go one better this time around and also try and get some revenge on Emily Appleton, who awaits the winner.
Sarah Beth Grey to serve. Love 15.
Well, I was given the green light just before to mention that it's been a tournament of two halves for Beth Grey, and I think part of the reason for that is that she had an allergic reaction to something a couple of days ago.
15 all.
And you could see it in her match when she was facing off with Alice Gillan. She was a little bit woozy, I would say, not quite focused, not quite getting her balance, a bit hit and miss. Commented after that match that she felt like she was playing with two left feet, so it was a big deal for her to be able to get over the line, but I think maybe still lingering effects when she faced Danielle Daly, who played great, who played a fantastic match yesterday. She did say before coming out for this one that she's feeling fine now, feeling ready to go, which is good. Semi's time, big moments.
30 all.
Just over rushing that ball as she charged forward. With her boyfriend, as we mentioned, Ed Taylor, in her corner. And she said on week one, when everyone thought, oof, you got your boyfriend courtside. Is that risky? She said, no, 5 years, very solid, very stable, we're fine. She's one of 7, 3 older sisters and 3 younger brothers.
Just one shy of her in my family.
Wow,
Love a big family. Always someone to play tennis with. That's the big thing.
Yes, no, that's true.
Her sisters did play.
Deuce.
It's interesting to note this early on because people know Beth Grey as a player that doesn't give you much at all. But even if she's leaking a few errors with her game, she will not give you anything with her attitude. She's so composed throughout a match. It's very steady. That can be tough to go up against. Great attitude, just straight back to business there.
Great
Advantage
footwork
Grey.
to get into position for the overhead. See if she can close out her first service game of this semi-final.
Game Grey.
Yeah, clever play by Grey, drawing her
One game
opponent
all.
in on the drop shot. Finding the down the line, closing out the points, and it's a game apiece.
Couple of juice games, and I guess both players coming into this will be ready for that, will be expecting it. They've faced off before. I think most of their meetings, actually, if not all of them, coming last summer, so it was recent times. Same format as well, because it was at the UK Pro Series, St George's Hill, so it was a best of 3 sets with a match tiebreak, so very, very similar scenarios, but no match carrying quite the weight of this one.
Love.
Maloney, one of a number of players who spoke about working on the mental side of their game during lockdown and using that opportunity.
All.
And it's such a huge part of the game, isn't it? The further up the rankings you go, I tend to say the more of a defining factor it is. Because everyone can hit forehands, backhands, drop shots, but when can you produce them?
A dream is to play at Wimbledon,
Whose isn't?
especially if you're from this country.
Exactly. Oh, just missing the final ball.
15-30.
And you can see right away why this has been a troubling matchup for Grey, because she specialises in outlasting her opponents. And Maloney likes this little game of pulling each other around the court and getting different looks on the ball. Saw it against Olivia Nichols, another impressive win for Maloney in the round-robin stage just recently. Nichols so often able to unsettle opponents with her double skills, the volley, the slice. And Maloney rising to the occasion, liking a bit of a scramble.
30 all.
Well, the margins in that one were so slim, weren't they? Couple of balls brushing the net cord, and then Grey just not quite able to get the height on that final slice. A huge point for Maloney. A huge difference between 30 all and 15-40, particularly in the early stages where you'd hope there were more openings on the return.
Snatch the
40,
Grey,
30.
telling herself to settle. Game point Maloney. Oh, no wonder there was a double, sorry.
Deuce.
Wow. I mean, she was on the ascendancy there, Grey. She was on the front foot. Likelihood is she was going to win the point anyway, but Maloney did well to get under that, and she was tracking this down. Just kicked off the top of that net cord, dropped dead.
Getting some evil net cords today. Good deep hitting from Grey in that point.
Advantage, Grey.
I was just thinking it's gone up a notch in the last 2 or 3 points. Maybe just sensing the moment and the need for urgency here. Grey, ramping it up.
Deuce. Advantage, Maloney.
Gotta say, a couple of well-placed serves under pressure from Maloney, but noteworthy in that rally, the forehand even. She will spin that forehand a bit just to get the depth of shot on it, as she did behind the serve, taking it down the line and just keeping Grey on a string there. Not in the same game, Beth.
Deuce.
Spread them out, hey?
Advantage, Maloney.
It's the backhand early more so. The forehand's coming closer. A lot of those backhands kind of central into the net. So Grey still working on getting that going in the early stages.
Game, Maloney.
Another good hold for Eliz Maloney. Another long hold. 3 games in, 12 minutes played, and Maloney leads by 2-1. Our venue today, the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre. Beth Grey in your picture, a runner-up on week 1, looking to get back in to the final, to the week 2 final. She came first in box B with 12 points. Her opponent, Eliz Maloney, deep in thought, second in box A with 10 points. The winner will face Emily Appleton, unbeaten, unstoppable, pretty much through the first 2 weeks, but in particular this week 2 when she is yet to drop a set. But it looks like we've got a tough battle on our hands between 2 players who meet for a 5th time. 4 previous ones were all last summer at St George's Hill in the UK Pro Series. All but one went the distance. And as we've seen through the first 3 games, looks like it's going to be as close today. We've seen some great play from Maloney, changing things up from week 1 and getting that big win against Freya Christie. And for Beth Grey, the consistency and the continuity to be back in this position.
She had to react quickly there, Great. She thought she'd won the point, and then that one just boinged over the net. Look at it here. Oh, there it goes. And Maloney was not going to miss from that position.
Will come forward, Maloney, but she says her focus is on singles. She enjoys it a lot more than doubles.
15-all.
She's quite a strategist, Maloney. She likes to work her way through the matches. She'll come into it with an idea of what she wants to do, but she says she's not opposed to kind of absorbing how it's playing out and working through her tactics, adjusting. And it's all on you on the singles court. Got to do that for yourself.
Thirty, 15. Forty, 15.
It's good to see that from Grey. It was a key weapon I felt for her early this week, that big first serve, consistent throughout matches. Maybe hasn't quite been there so much when she would have liked it recently.
Game, Grey.
A little bit more
2
comfortable
games
for
all.
Beth Grey to level things up at 2 games all.
Love 15.
Hasn't won a point, Maloney, since she sent a backhand just into the net earlier in the previous game, and there was a little hop, skip, bit of frustration on display.
Yeah, that run will
Love
continue.
30.
Just didn't get her feet placement right for the backhand. And now the door opens for Grey. Real opportunity here at love 30 on the Maloney serve.
Love 40.
And that will be worrying because she names the inside-out backhand as one of her favourite shots, Maloney. That one betraying her, drifting wide. She's really in a hole now.
There it is. It's a break to love for Beth Grey. After a tight first 4 games, it is Beth Grey who makes the break, breaking to love to lead by 3 games to 2. If you're just joining us on semi-finals day at the UK Pro League Week 2, you have missed a straight sets victory for Anton Matusevic, the highest ranked male player here against Sean Hodkin. And then you missed a blistering performance from Week 1 winner Emily Appleton to cruise past Alice Gillan for the loss of just a couple of games. And most recently, Mark Whitehouse coming through against Dan Cox. So one place in the finals that we will have on BT Sport for you tomorrow remaining. Beth Grey or Eliz Maloney. There'll be a return to the final for Beth Grey, having reached it in week 1, or a debut in the final for the 20-year-old Maloney.
Second serve. Love 30.
Well, this is a key game for Maloney. The last one kind of came out of nowhere. She'd been so tough before, and then 3 or 4 backhand unforced errors just sprung from the blue. But she's keeping focus and will look to capitalise on this opening.
15-30.
I did feel, though, in that last game, maybe just a little bit of a lack of sharpness, though, on the final point. She kind of noticed the depth that she'd put on Grey like a second late, didn't close the net quick enough, so she had that difficult pickup on the backhand. It was going to be difficult to keep it in the court.
We've talked about this With the format of the 7
30 off.
matches in 7 days, how players recover, how fatigued they get, the mind can go as well as the body. And for Maloney, this is a turnaround from 8th in week 1 for now playing for place in the final. So it's interesting to see how the players go as the week progresses.
Let for service.
Yeah, by ranking, she's the underdog out here, Maloney, but given that she's beaten Freya Christie already this week, she'll definitely be viewing this as a big opportunity, given the past head-to-head as well.
And it's an immediate
30,
break-back
40.
point opportunity for the 20-year-old.
Yes.
I liked what Maloney did on the previous point to set up the breakback point. She put a deep slice into play at the beginning of the rally, and I feel like she needs to do a little bit more of changing up like that, just to take rhythm away from Grey. It's hit and miss, but she's more likely to miss cue if she's got a bit of different looks on the ball, I think.
Good hitting
Advantage
from Grey.
Grey.
Draws the error from Maloney and gives her an opportunity to consolidate her break.
Game break.
There it is. Consolidation.
Grey
It's not a
leads
break
4
until it's
games to 2.
consolidated. It's exactly what Beth Grey has done, just to give herself a little bit of daylight between her and her opponent.
That was an important game to come through. Maloney would want that second serve return back, I think. She could have done a bit more with that. But the timing, she's still trying to get it going again.
Maloney won the British Tour title October 2019. She made 4 main draws in 2020. That's one of the short-term targets, to be making more main draws and to travel with Danielle Daly, her best friend.
Oh, she had it where she wanted it,
love.
Grey, right on top of that baseline to finish on her forehand side, just over pushing. Maybe give Maloney some credit there. We know what she's capable of at the back of the court, so might have put the pressure on for Grey to go for a bit more, but it's the kind of shot that she would usually make.
Love.
And that time just didn't quite accelerate through the final follow through, took a bit off it. I think in these rallies the margins are going to be that slim.
Great point. Well finished off at the end by
40
Maloney,
love.
scrambling from both and game points for the 20-year-old.
Yeah, she had seen that drop shot coming. She didn't even break stride. She already had her head down on the way to it, and it bought her some time to turn this point around. Great reading of it.
Game Maloney.
Good love hold for Eliz Maloney.
Gray leads 4
But it
games
is still
to 3.
Beth Grey with this slight advantage because she's got the break and the 4-3 lead in the first set.
Time.
It's been another great day's tennis to this point. And this match is living up to expectations. Just that slight advantage for Beth Grey in this 5th meeting between the two, but there's a lot at stake. It's place in the final, points, prize money. Beth Grey now 25 years of age. Spent a lot of time locked down working on fitness, such a key part of her game. Of
15 love.
people, athletes, and just us ordinary folk who were building home gyms and doing anything they could to work out at home, near home. I didn't build a gym, but
I was wondering,
so,
Gigi.
no, slightly extreme. I was too busy homeschooling to build a gym.
30 love.
That could have been one of the projects. I could have set that, but they are only 5. Slightly extreme. Your project this week is to build a home gym.
Start them early.
For mummy.
You saw that. One of the most troubling things about Beth Grey. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, just getting the balls. Ball kid duties. Yeah, one of the difficult things about facing her is the depth of shot that she's able to generate from far back behind the baseline. Usually when you've pushed the opponent back, you're in a good position in the rally. She brings herself straight back into it.
Love.
And actually in that rally, keeping herself on top of the baseline pretty much all the way through, taking the ball early. That took some real resilience from Grey to get it done as Maloney came back time and time again. She had to be patient.
Let. First serve. Game Grey.
Clean hold for Beth Grey, keeps the advantage, keeps
Grey
a little
leads
bit of
5 games
daylight,
to
now
3.
puts the pressure on Eliz Maloney, who finds herself in the position to serve to stay in the first set.
She adjusted well there, Grey, to that dead net cord drop. Quickly back on her toes after she got the pick up. I think that's a couple of love holds for Grey. So getting some form going now. It was hit and miss and up and down at the beginning. But it's not about sustaining necessarily all the way through. It's about when you bring your best. And she seems to be bringing it on serve towards the back end here.
And will she take a swing now on the Maloney serve with that break in hand?
Fifteen love.
And the weight of shot
15 all.
from Beth Grey. Proving too hot to handle.
That's well done. Not put
13,
off by the
15.
previous point, Maloney. She might have wanted or been tempted to take a pace back because the ball was coming at her so quickly, but she kept her positioning there, and I think that was the key strategy for her coming into this one, to try and keep that on top of the baseline. Great example there of Grey using the height on the ball, switching it up. A lot of the times we only see that kind of moon ball as a defensive shot, but Grey actually using it there to try and unsettle and unseat Maloney. And eventually it did pay off.
42 minutes played of this first set, and a big point now for both, 3-5 and 30 all.
Let first serve. Let first serve. (40-30).
She handled that so well. The return came so deep and hard to her, Maloney, and she just had to stay like a wall, pick it up. Didn't give Grey anything that.
Deuce.
But that's classic Beth Grey, giving you nothing. Must have felt she was inches away from the service hold when she'd got up to that forecourt, Maloney, but Grey putting a little bit extra on the final shot, driving it. Grey 2 points away again.
Advantage Maloney.
I think that was an immediate question from Grey after that shot. Maybe just wanted it to be in. It's not often that you hear the chair umpire so confident on that far sideline, so it must have been pretty clear from there.
There was a slight hesitation. I
Yes.
really thought that the previous shot had gone long. And what a game this is turning out to be, with Maloney serving to stay in the first set. Grey keeping the pressure on.
Advantage Grey.
And with that screen, we have a set point for Beth Grey. Furious with herself, Eliz Maloney, but an opportunity now for week 1 finalist to get the first set of the semi-final on the board. And that's
Game
it.
and first set, Grey.
Beth Grey
6 games to 3.
closing out the first set by 6 games to 3. A relieved boyfriend, a happy Grey, and it's Grey who's a set to the good.
Hello?
Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Hello, you can hear us all right?
Yeah.
Lovely. We're on the ad break at the moment, but if it's all right, the sort of same thing, a couple of questions after the ad break?
Yeah, sure.
Probably in about 30 seconds. Thank you. A set away from back-to-back finals is Beth Grey, who I'm happy to say joins us now. Beth, congratulations on that first set. If you could break it down for us, because there wasn't a lot between the two of you, but what in the end for you was the difference that got you over the line?
I think sort of the middle of that set, I just decided to take the ball a little bit earlier, so I was taking a bit more time away from her. Yeah, I think that was the difference.
And going forward into this next set, Beth, do you change anything much? What are the plans?
No, not at all. Just try and maintain what I'm doing, really. And, yeah, keep going.
Did you change anything from week 1, or did you discover anything about yourself after playing 7 matches in 7 days that you changed ahead of week 2?
No, not particularly. I just sort of went back and polished my tools, if you like, and then got ready to go again this week.
And coming into the semi-finals, Beth, obviously it's sudden death. If you lose here, it does have an impact. Does that change the mentality coming into this stage of the event?
No, I don't think so. I just focus on one point at a time. So, yeah.
Beth, thank you, and good luck for the rest of the match.
Thank you.
Speaking to us courtside, Beth Grey, who closed out that first set by 6 games to 3. Eliz Maloney was just taking a break at the end of that first set, and it's the wonderful thing about this competition, that you can finish 8th, as Eliz Maloney did in week 1, and here you are playing for a place in the final. It gives you the opportunity for those matches to work on things, to change things if they're not working.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a golden opportunity for these players. And Maloney comes out here, and she's got to take the positives from that opening set. You know, she did keep it close. I'm not sure that really that scoreline 6-3 accurately represents how close of a set it was. And she'll have learnt a few things there and knows that she doesn't have to win the full 2 sets to come back. She just has to take a set and force the match tiebreak, which has happened on 3 of 4 occasions with these two when they've faced off. It has gone right the way down the wire. So we'll see if she draws any confidence from that as she steps up for set 2.
But the advantage for Beth Grey is that she broke to take the set, which means as she gathers together the balls, she'll be starting things off in this second set with Emily Appleton awaiting the winner.
Second set, Grey to serve.
That's not a bad start, is it?
It's a good aggressive point to kick off the set.
Bullet down the tee as well after getting that set in her pocket. Given that it was so close at times, it might just help Grey free up a bit more.
Yeah, she'll be looking to ride this wave of momentum. Grey soaking up the pressure from the back of the court.
30 love.
Eventually drawing the error from her opponent.
Love.
Well, this is emphatic stuff, exactly what Maloney didn't want. It was going to be really key for her to get her teeth into this return game, at least give Grey something to think about. And still time, but first 3 points from Grey. Whew, she's been driving that ball. Scrambling supreme, Eliz Maloney.
15.
Grey landing blow after blow on that forehand side, and you could see she's already on the charge up to this drop shot. Perfect touch.
Yeah, she's read the Grey drop shot well in this match.
$30.
Did I cause this? Is it my fault?
Quite possibly.
Oh. Very sorry, Beth. Still a point to get it done.
And she gets it done. It wasn't as
First game,
comfortable as she
second
would
set.
have liked, but she keeps that winning feeling going from taking the first set and then holding serve first game set 2, and now all eyes, all pressure on Eliz Maloney, because this is a big game for Maloney coming up.
Oh, huge game. Grey able to continue that bit of momentum that she picked up by breaking at the back end of the opening set. Just looking at these stats here, the thing that probably stands out the most is Grey able to land a greater percentage of first serves and winning more of those first serves, which I think was key in some tighter moments. But look at the breakpoint conversion as well. She had a couple more opportunities, only missed the one chance. And I think these stats really do reflect some slim margins that we saw in that opening set. Grey just able to edge them when it mattered.
Played Wimbledon Juniors, Eliz Maloney, giving her a nice taste of what the future could hold.
Love 15.
There is going to be that even greater temptation now to push that bit further. Grey is starting to warm into her rock-solid form. A lot of her errors in the first set were coming off the backhand side, and I feel like she's got a lot more balls on her forehand more recently. Were you counting?
15 all.
Because I wasn't.
I lost count. I was just engrossed by the point. And more often than not on these longer points, Grey's come out on top, so a good point for Maloney to win. Stayed patient.
Thirty 15. All.
Bit of frustration starting to rear its head for Maloney. You can understand it, and I'm surprised we haven't seen a bit more of it, to be honest. Some of these taxing rallies that she's not coming out on the right end of.
Thirty 40.
An opportunity here now with Maloney down on her haunches for Grey to get the early break and to keep this run going. Having come through that first set by 6 games to 3. Oh,
Yes.
another lung buster of a point, and once again it's Maloney who comes out on top and in the process saves break point.
Well, she should take some confidence from that. And Grey, good with the adjustment as Maloney's forehand clipped the net cord. But Maloney with the angles to get it done.
Advantage Maloney.
Well, I feel like the longer the service games for Maloney extend at the beginning of this set, if she can come through them, it will be key and might just stop the run for Grey.
Not up.
Oh, that's
Game Maloney.
good stuff
Ball
from
change.
Eliz Maloney. Had to save a break
One
point
game on.
along the way. A couple of lung busters during the game, but she does hold for a game apiece second set.
I think we've had enough net cords to last the week today.
It's all from this side,
All
all
of
from the
them.
near side.
She'll very much take that one. She worked hard there, Maloney. Very, very little luck involved. Just hard graft. And she gets the new balls.
You sort of career off in all directions.
Love 15.
Well, talks a bit about a stalling of momentum. Grey might feel the moment a bit here.
On.
That's a tough miss. In that moment, being given the gift of the double fault, she really wanted to make Grey play a bit longer there. Just test her out, ask the questions.
Fifteen, 30.
Really good
30 on.
wide serve. Stretching Maloney to her limits.
And that's a good response under pressure. Constantly playing catch up in this game, Grey. First love 15, then 15-30.
Let. First serve. Forty, 30.
Agitation in that slap. It's been Just a couple of forehands that have been either fractionally too low or fractionally too long, and those fractions make a big difference on the scoreboard. That's how they both felt about that respective point. The come on from one, the scream from the other, and it is Grey on serve 2-1, second set, and by set to love. One spot left in the UK Pro League Week 2 finals. We will have Anton Matusevic take on Mark Whitehouse, and Emily Appleton, unbeaten for the week, hasn't dropped a set this week. Well, she's unbeaten in nearly 2 weeks now. 13 wins from 13, one set dropped. Against the winner of the match we have before us here, with Beth Grey set to the good, but Eliz Maloney serving.
Love 15. Just one. Yeah. 15 all.
I think she could have given herself a bit more time on that backhand.
Been on court just over an hour now.
Fifteen, 30.
She doesn't let it throw her though, and that's what's so impressive about Beth Grey. There will always be hits and misses. There will always be moments that she regrets, but she'll just get straight back onto it for the next point. Such a great quality.
It's another of those long points that
30 all.
Maloney is coming out on top of.
You can feel it swinging slightly, can't you? The pendulum does tend to swing in these matches, sometimes back and forth. Getting on top, going into that forehand side, great. It was exactly the right move. Maloney looking a bit more secure off her backhand wing at the moment.
Gray had an opportunity to break in Maloney's first service game of this second set. Couldn't convert. Opportunity number 2 here. She gets it. That's why we're here to come on, let's go, because Gray has made the breakthrough in the second set.
3 games to 1.
As you heard, they're leading by 3 games to 1 with the break.
Yeah, she worked for that, Gray. She really did, went after it. And credit to her, because the one game that Maloney got on the board in this second set so far was a long service hold, and Gray would have had chances, half chances. Didn't break through, but didn't break stride either afterwards.
Love.
She can't afford to take her foot off the gas here, Gray. Maloney is no stranger to a comeback and shares many of Gray's fighting qualities. Likes a challenge.
Love. Love.
Maloney's got to try and dig in here. The last thing she wants to give Gray is a consolidation to love. The scoreboard looks impressive for Gray, but it is just the one break of serve. Looks healthier because she's serving first.
Game, Gray.
That's how you can consolidate a break. You
Gray
hold
leads
to love,
4
which
games
is
to 1.
exactly what Gray's done. She's 2 games away from the final, leading the second by 4 games to 1. So Beth Grey, the
Time.
world number 643, the British number 20, is taking a little bit of a hold of this semi-final now, looking for back-to-back UK Pro League finals. All to do for that young lady, 20-year-old Eliz Maloney. Been on court for an hour and a quarter now. Emily Appleton awaits the winner.
Love 15.
Must hold service game here, and I mentioned earlier in the match, she came from 4-1 down in the second against Alicia Barnett, top-ranked player in the draw on that occasion. She can just hold here, really closes the gap.
15 all.
Chance to dig into a return game, and if she can get something going, back on serve. It is not as far separated as this scoreline suggests, but it feels like it is because of the way Grey took momentum from the back end of the first set into the second.
But it's just the one breaker serve.
Fifteen, 13.
Ooh, interesting miss there from Grey. You could see she could sense a moment, dancing on her toes, getting ready. And great depth on the return. It hung off the back of that baseline. Would not expect her to miss the follow-up.
Forty, 13. Oof. This one was long. She's called it.
Well, it was a risky strategy for Maloney there, kind of waiting for Grey to land the final blow. She kept enough depth on her shots that her opponent wasn't able to. But she wants the insurance break, Grey.
She doesn't allow Maloney to get back into this set, into this match. Little nod from boyfriend Ed Taylor. Now an opportunity to get that insurance of the double break for Beth Grey. Convert this next point, and Beth Grey will be serving for her place in tomorrow's final. Joe Jury watching on. Maloney trains at the Junior Elite Tennis Academy, the Jet Academy. Break point, Grey.
let, first serve.
There's the insurance break for
Game
Beth
3.
Grey. Frustration and a bit of muttering for
Grey leads
Eliz
5 games
Maloney.
to 1.
But Beth Grey has really asserted herself on this contest now. And she's a service hold away from back-to-back finals.
Just sheer grit out here and keeping herself going, capitalising and just staying in there when it wasn't all going her way. Not letting unforced errors deter her.
Love.
Ed mentioned that he's quite a fan of the face mask situation because it hides his expression if things are getting a bit tight and a bit nervous, but I don't think he's got too much to worry about here. Grey with a confident start to this potentially final service game.
Once again, it's Eliz Maloney coming out on top in those lung busters. Just having the patience, grinding her opponent down, eventually drawing the error. I imagine there's a lot of partners, coaches, friends who like the face mask situation.
Yeah, it comes in handy for something. Oh, Maloney is going to make Grey have to step up and win this, though. She's firing down the warnings. Yeah, 5-1, that looks like a mountain to climb. But yeah, she'll make her work for every single point.
Both gulping in the oxygen now. Still has to cross the finish line, Beth Grey. Maloney will ask her the question.
$15-13.
Well, who knows? She's just got to grab a hold of anything at this point, Maloney. View this as a half chance. Just dig her teeth into every single point.
There's that net cord again.
30 all.
Other side this time.
Yeah.
But it just shows sometimes, particularly on their cross-court angles, how low the ball is traveling. It's been a key shot from both of them at times in the longer exchanges to try and keep themselves in things.
40-30.
And match point to Beth Grey for back-to-back finals at the UK Pro League to set up a repeat of the final from week 1.
Not just yet.
Deuce.
Maloney slamming that backhand down. She's playing with a bit more urgency now. In some of the key moments, we've seen her just hanging back a bit, willing to rally. I wonder if things might have been a bit more different if she'd taken that ball earlier and tried to move up the court. Land a blow like that one. Can't change the past. Can change the future.
Advantage Maloney.
Definitely stepping in, being a little bit more aggressive now, Maloney. A chance to get one of the breaks back from match point to break point.
Deuce.
Got a point.
Advantage Maloney.
What a point, and what a way to bring up a second break point for Eliz Maloney. Great touch and feel.
Oh, it's brilliant. And just catching the corner with this volley on the stretch. She had to get low for that one. And once again, that backhand drive setting it up.
Game Maloney.
Pressure really went for the big second serve. Relief
Grey
for
leads
Jo
5
Jury
games to
because
2.
her player will play on. We play on. This match is not done yet. It's why you always have to ask the question of your opponent. Couldn't find the answer on that occasion, Beth Grey, but that's why she had the insurance of the double break. Eliz Maloney fights on. How many more twists and turns are there in this
She's a wall now at the front of the court, Maloney. And I think this has been a key change-up in recent points, the fact that she's now playing a fair bit of tennis from between that net and that service line. Haven't seen her there too much. She did mention that she likes to read the game, change it up accordingly.
15 all.
Ideally love to get the job done here, Beth Grey. She's 2 points away from getting the job done. Little look towards her boyfriend, a little pump of the fist, keeping herself going, staying focused, staying in the moment, closing in on back-to-back finals. The woman in the way in your picture, Eliz Maloney, 20 years of age.
(15-14).
She had a match point on her serve, Beth Grey, but now she has 2 on the serve of Eliz Maloney.
Oh, she threads it.
30-40.
It was inches from being over. Grey getting right down for that slice. That one sits up a bit. And she puts it away.
Another opportunity now for Grey to wrap this up. Gosh, stunner from Maloney.
Yes.
Well, she seems to need to be down on the scoreboard to get going, but she's ramping it up, Maloney. Credit to her for going big in some huge, huge moments.
She is not done just yet. Deuce. Double match point saved on her serve.
This is now exhausting to watch. I wonder how they'll be feeling. You could already tell just by looking at them back end of the first set. They were wearing each other out. Big for Maloney to win that point. There was a Grey forehand up the line there that looked very, very close.
From 15-40 to game point. There's the
Game
game.
Maloney.
Saves double match point on her serve.
Grey leads 5 games to 3.
But Grey had that insurance of the double break. But the question will be asked once again, can you close it out? Can you cross the finish line?
Let me tell you, Eliz Maloney is potentially the most dangerous player in this draw when it comes to being on the back foot on that scoreboard. 5-1 looked almost impossible a hole to dig out of. Now she's just within a break.
Brutal hitting between these
15
two
love.
right now. That all-important first point going the way of the server.
The reactions from Grey recently tell you everything you need to know. She keeps it so level, as we've said, in terms of her demeanour, in terms of her reactions on the court, but a lot more pumps of the fist and screams of command from her recently. She knows that this ain't a done deal. I think someone needs to remind these two the winner has a final to play tomorrow. They are throwing everything out on this court.
Emily Appleton be watching, so keep going. More. More of these.
Yeah, she'll be pulling for the match tiebreak for sure.
2 points from the win now, Grey. Already had 3 match points, 1 on her own serve in game 7, 2 in the previous game on the Maloney serve. 2 points from getting the job done.
Thirty, 15.
So desperate to get this done. Who can blame her? She's been so close for what feels like so long now.
Hour and 40 on the match clock.
Look wide from here. It's 30 all.
Yeah, she's missed that. Well, could it get tighter? And this, a huge moment, really. It's match point or break point next.
And it will be a break-back point for Eliz Maloney to get us back on serve in this second set.
Oh, she'll be relieved to get that point in the bag. She drew a shorter, well, softer ball off the return, and she didn't quite get around it as she would have wanted to. Seemed a little bit delayed reacting to it, but built her momentum throughout the rally.
Yeah, it felt slightly tentative. A lot on that point. A 5-1 lead in the second set, Beth Grey.
Advantage Maloney. Game Maloney.
We're back on serve. Would you believe it? From a 5-1 lead with a double break, we are now back on serve.
It's just incredible, isn't it, the way a match can turn around if you take it point by point as Maloney did. It was so essential. Gray's lead was pretty suffocating, having broken to open the first set and really just owning the majority of the key points within this one. But Maloney, she definitely upped the intensity, and now the big question is, can she sustain it? Because it's one thing to do that when you're behind, but now she's essentially back level, she's back on serve, and yet Grace still has the opportunity here to break for it. And so she's got to be completely locked into this next service game. She's not quite out of danger yet.
I like the little round of applause from Jo Jury, a little low round of applause as her charge sat down as boyfriend of Beth Grey stays silent.
He gave her a nod as she came. They all, both of them, stay so positive. And yeah, we talk about Beth being upbeat and level, and Ed's the same, always there to give the reassurance at the sideline. But yeah, definitely grateful for the face mask. He was in more need of it than I suggested at 5-1 up.
$15 love.
Good dipping ball from Maloney to the feet of Grey.
And as brilliant as this comeback has been from Maloney, it doesn't feel entirely unexpected, because if you think back to it, 6-3, 6-1, 6-3, 6-3 scoreline, I don't think it would have been done justice even to how close this contest has been.
ball to come in on from Maloney.
40 love.
You could see during that rally, Grey seemed to be driving the ball a little bit more in the early stages. She's kind of taken some pace off it, put some more spin on it in recent games and points, and I think she's having to adjust now because Maloney is right back into things. Didn't pay off though. Maloney loving the pace, redirecting it. Another player at this point, you'd expect them to be thinking about the fact they've had match points. They've been so close and not been able to cross the line. I'm not so sure with Grey because she is so good at looking after her head game, her mentality.
Looking for the short ball. She gets it.
40,
Just
30.
tightens up this 10th game a little.
It was good to see her flowing like she was at the end of that point because it would be so easy to tighten here. They're taking that right above the height of her shoulder. It could be a difficult shot to land. She cracks down. Senses a chance here.
Deuce. Advantage, Grey.
Early cry of no. Ball goes wide and it's break point Grey.
Match point Grey.
Not to be. Fourth match point has come and gone.
You do get lost in it at this point, don't you? Point by point by point, you're not sure where you are. I wonder if it's the same for the two players on court. Driving that backhand.
Advantage, Maloney.
Getting her positioning just right, the little steps there, bouncing on her toes.
From match point to game point for 5-all in this second set.
Game Maloney.
Wow. These two playing their 6th match in 6 days, going toe-to-toe, 5-all, locked in second set.
That was an absolutely huge point for Maloney. I felt that to actually win this match, she had to take a big step, which was to play the kind of tennis that she was playing at games down, at match points down, break points down, in the moments that were going to level her on the scoreboard and actually get her into a winning position here. And she did accelerate through a few more balls in that longer rally. She wasn't just sitting back waiting for Gray to miss. She did put a bit of pressure on her as well. And that's what has got her here to 5-all from 5-1 down in this set.
Interesting to see how Gray reacts. You mentioned that she's so good at resetting, but 4 match points have come and gone now. A 5-1 lead also disappeared. Aggressive stance taken up by Maloney off this second serve. That's an early blow to Gray and for Maloney, taking that first point of game number 11.
She has so much momentum going now, and Gray needs to act quickly so many of these longer rallies, and we could feel it changing throughout the set, going the way of her opponent. You can see in the rallies, Maloney's positioning is so far behind the baseline, and she was reading the drop shot very well earlier, but with the way she's playing at the moment, I wonder if it would be an idea for Gray to throw one in there, catch her off guard, because these baseline duels constantly going Maloney's way right now. You can just feel her confidence rising.
That point powered by backhands from Maloney. Triple break point opportunity to give her the opportunity to serve to take us into that deciding tiebreak. Gulping in the oxygen. Oh. Re-dropping off the drop shot, perfectly cool, calm and collected display of tennis from the 20-year-old Eliz Maloney. She breaks to love. And very shortly, Abigail, she will have the opportunity to close out the second set from 1-5 down.
Oh, deeply, deeply impressive. You've got to give her resilience. So much credit out here. And I say a bit of credit as well at the back end of that game to Beth Grey for trying that drop shot option. When you're getting tight, when it's running away from you, it is tough to change it up like that. And it was not a bad drop shot. Maloney was just so quick up to it. And then her hand skills on full display just to drop the response back. It's such good tennis. And we saw this potential from her in week 1. I think she got a bit tight at the back end of the week. Was definitely really disappointed to finish up the way she did. 8th place, knew that she was capable of better. She's making up for it out here.
She's breathing the heavier of the two, Beth Grey. There's been some killer rallies out there between these two. And Beth Grey now needs to not think about what has been, but now put the pressure on her opponent, who is looking to serve out this second set, having broken to love, leading by 6 games to 5 to take us the distance. Match time coming up to 2 hours on the match court. Eliz Maloney serving to take the second set at 6-5.
Net. Second serve. Net. Second serve.
That's a good first point from Grey.
Love 15.
Just asserting herself with her positioning. She's not getting much joy out of the baseline battles, so why not move up the court? Even if she's not having to play the volley, her positioning is just putting the pressure on Maloney, rushing her a bit. Oh, she will be relieved. She had the right idea early in that point, Gray, but she seemed hesitant as she made the move up to the forecourt, hadn't quite decided to close. Maloney pushed her back and nearly made her pay, but now it's a very different situation for Maloney. As we've alluded to, she was playing to catch up. Now she actually has to step up and win this set. And the mentality of that, it's a different story.
Love 14.
This has been a great game to this point from Beth Grey. Really taken it to Maloney, been very aggressive, just clipping the sideline there for love 40 and 3 points for the tiebreak. And we might still have a champions tiebreak to decide the winner, but before that, we are having a standard end of set tiebreak.
It might be anything but standard, though. Wow, what a response from Gray. Always easier to play from behind, as we've seen in this set. And Maloney just not quite able to cross the line there when she could see it in front of her. Gray upping the ante. And at times, these two must feel like they're looking in a mirror. So many of the same fighting, resilient qualities evident on both sides of the net, but something has to give here.
Yeah, it certainly does. Who's going to hold their nerve? Who's going to cross the finish line of this second set? It's Beth Grey to get us underway.
1-0. Grey.
Oh, that was cruel from the net cord.
2-0, Grey.
She was in position, Maloney. And the tie break, the scoring system in it is not so forgiving. Big point upcoming. Big backhand to match.
2-1, Grey.
That's how Maloney felt about her
Grey.
decision making, tossing up the lob for Grey to smash away.
Well, she had the height. I think she just didn't have the length that she would have managed earlier in the match. Grey with a couple of big strides back, and yeah, she'll finish that.
Over the 2-hour mark of this semi-final, Emily Appleton awaiting the winner.
Oh, wow, what a moment. She thought she caught it. Grey with a pretty confident call. And unfortunately for Maloney, that far sideline just too difficult a call for the umpire to overrule. I wouldn't have wanted to be calling that one, that's for sure. Close.
Grey.
Really taking control of this tie-break, Grey. Wants to give herself as big a cushion as possible. She looks to close it out.
5-1 in the set, 5-1 in the tie-break now. Wonder if that will flash through Maloney's mind at this change of ends. Or Grey's, for that matter.
So close to the finish line, Grey, as she has been on 4 occasions of those 4 previous match points. Couple of points, we'll get the job done.
Grey.
Grey get the job done here though, couple of points. Tie-break on her racket, 5-2 lead.
Deja vu.
5-3, Grey.
Last couple of points, Maloney has stepped it up, ramped it up on that backhand side once again. We're seeing a mini replica of that set starting to form here. This is a must-win service point potentially for Grey.
And in steps Maloney ahead of the second serve.
Slams it down, slams
Too
it.
good.
5-4, Grey.
Too good from Eliz Maloney. Boy, is she playing her best when she's coming from behind.
It's been the story of this second set comeback for her. Has to stay in the moment and keep doing it now, but we reiterate she has to do this kind of thing when she's out in front if she's going to walk away with the win here. Great response though.
Great depth on the return from Grey. Set up the drive volley perfectly. Fist pump, match points. Can she get the job done here? She's already had 4 in the main body of the set. And now a cushion to see if she can get herself over the line in set 2 and a straight sets win.
6-5, Grey.
Not to be on the first in this tiebreak, but she has another opportunity here on her serve.
Six all.
And we play on. That is 6 match points for Beth Grey. 2 in this tiebreak. They will change ends. And more work to be done.
Tell you what, she'll want that return back from 6-4. Had it on a racket, just missed. To be fair, you can understand why she went for it after the drive down the line that set up those 2 match points, but that is going to sting. She's seen the match point opportunities, but it had been a while since she had a couple back-to-back. And 2 makeable balls.
This set alone has been an hour and 15 minutes in duration. Cracking stuff between these two. What a point.
7-6.
There are no easy points in this contest at the moment. And it is set point to Eliz Maloney.
Oh, that was a ridiculous exchange. For Grey, I'm not quite sure what she was doing at moments there. 4 times caught inside the baseline. The ball went behind her. She was in 2 minds as to whether to move up the court or not. And with Maloney driving here, she has to make a decision and go for it. She can't afford to hang around. Made to pay that. And terrific, terrific resilience from her opponent here.
Wow, set point for Eliz Maloney, who was serving for the set, was broken, led to this tiebreak. Now a point to close it out on her serve. Excellent from Grey, pushing forward, saving the set point, 7 points apiece.
Well, the common theme here is that both players are ripping the ball when they're down on the scoreboard. So it's going to be a case here of who is going to step up and land that punch when they're out in front.
This is exhausting to watch. Imagine being out there. Second set point opportunity for Eliz Maloney.
That favourite inside-out backhand of hers, getting on top of it, thumping it down. Can she do it when she's out in front? Set point, but it's on the return.
This is hypnotic at times between these two. But who is going to be able to cross the finish line? That's a second set point that's come and gone. We've had 6 match points for Beth Grey, 2 of them in this tiebreak. 6 games all, 8 points apiece.
What a tug of war. I mean, how did we get here from 5-1 up? Grey serving for the match. There is just nothing between them at the moment.
She's passed. She's been desperately trying to get forward in the last few points, Beth Grey, potentially to try and keep these points a little shorter, but she is left exposed. She is passed by Maloney, and it is a third set point opportunity for the 20-year-old.
I think maybe you used the word desperate there, and that desperation potentially showing that didn't quite get enough width on the drive forehands, Grey. Need to pay for it.
Will it be third time lucky for Maloney? 1-5 down in this set, 1-5 down in the tiebreak. Set point. No, it won't. You heard the no from Beth Grey. The ball flies long, and it is 9 points apiece.
I think it's about time we started looking at the tiebreak record for the league so far, because nothing is giving out here. You're just holding your breath, aren't you, during these rallies, never quite sure what's coming.
A well-earned drink at the latest change of ends in this tiebreak between these two. Eliz Maloney, as we mentioned, finished 8th in week 1. Now she's playing for a place in tomorrow's final. Beth Grey looking for back-to-back finals. 9 points apiece. We've had 3 set points and 2 match points in this tiebreak. We now have a 4th set point, but
Maloney.
it will be on the serve of Beth Grey.
Well, one thing's for sure. She wants to stay away from that backhand wing here.
There's the set.
Game and
She's got it.
Maloney, 7 games.
Eliz Maloney, wow.
One set
She
on.
came from 1-5 down in this set. She takes the second. We have a deciding tiebreak. Hi, Eliz. Can you hear me? Oh, hang on. Back to front. There we go. Can you hear? Yeah. If it's all right, we'll let you get your breath. We'll come to you with a couple of questions in about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel quite cruel to be doing this after that set, but I'm very happy to say that Eliz Maloney is waiting to speak to us. Eliz, if you have any energy left, talk us through that second set that saw you save 6 match points and come from 1-5 down.
I think I was just letting Beth dictate a little bit, and she was doing that really well. So at 5-1, I sort of felt like I had nothing to lose and just changed things up a bit. And then when I won like 1 game, 2 games, I thought actually I could be in this and just keep doing what I'm doing and sort of changing the errors from the first set.
Eliz, it's fantastic times. We're going to let you get your breath back, but good luck for the rest of the match.
Thank you.
I think it was only fair.
Absolutely.
Just the one question. Let her get a bit of a breather because there's the championship tiebreak, the first to 10 points. But what fight back? And you could look at both sides of the coin here. Beth Gray's had her opportunity, she hasn't taken them. But Eliz Maloney to come from 1-5 down and to have saved those 6 match points. What fighting spirit.
Oh, it's insane. I said before, she's so dangerous on the back foot because she just doesn't give up. She doesn't know when she's finished. Keeps going, keeps going. And if we'd had the chance to ask her another question, which we were not going to do that, couldn't do that, it would have been interesting to see how aware she was even of the score as she was competing, because we were losing track. You know, it was just on and on and on. Seemed never ending.
Here we go. Champions tiebreak, first to 10. That's a good start for Beth Grey.
1-0.
Such a good start,
Gray.
particularly on the return as well, bagging a mini break with that and just accelerating through that forehand, all in the timing.
The second set was an hour and 32 minutes.
Ooh.
2 hours 21 for the match.
We've seen matches shorter than that set today. Well, the backhand drive sees her back into things once again. I don't dare predict this one.
I wasn't going to ask.
Thank you.
Three of their previous 4 meetings had gone the distance.
2-1 Gray.
It is impossible to call who's going to hold their nerve, cross that finish line, book their place in tomorrow's final.
And that head-to-head locked at 2 wins each. 50-50. That's about where this match feels.
Gray.
Getting some really firm fist pumping now from Beth Grey.
Not that time. She was getting closer and closer to the lines there, Gray, sailing really close to the wind. Just couldn't see it through, and she knows she's not safe here. Let's be clear, not just 5-1 up in the set, but 5-1 up in the tiebreak as well, the previous one. Still wasn't enough of a cushion.
Just long. 3-all.
And so the pendulum swings once again, back and forth, back and forth. How long can they keep this up?
You can hear the breathing of both the players. There are no easy points in this match. I think both are quite like an easy point, but each one fiercely fought and contested.
Remember about 5 years ago when Gray had back-to-back love holds. Feels like a different match. No such breathing room here.
Let's first serve.
Jumps into it.
4-3, Maloney.
And I think it's been a key shot in getting her back into this match. Gray has tried to move up the court, but she's been a bit hesitant. Once Maloney's moved in, she is fully committed.
There's a little bit of daylight for Eliz Maloney. Had the upper hand early on in this first to 10 tiebreak, Beth Grey. But now Maloney edges ahead. How will she deal with having the lead? She will deal with it very well if she moves to 6-3.
Maloney.
That backhand up the line was the sealer of the deal. Turned everything around, caught Gray off balance, out of position. And it was a job to get back in that rally from there. Maloney's so strong now on the backhand when she's moving up the court. Strengthen her legs as well, getting right down to some of these. Well, it's the first time that Gray has been down by this distance. And that felt crucial.
6-4, Maloney.
Heart might have been in her mouth on that volley, but she didn't show it.
Backhand again,
7-4,
doing the
Maloney.
damage.
I've probably said something similar before, but huge for her that she can hit that from out in front on the scoreboard. We've seen it several times throughout this match, but where's it been? It's been bringing her back into the match. This one takes her 3 points clear. That could be really key.
Maloney.
Big miss that could turn out to be for Beth Grey. Eliz Maloney now 2 points from booking her place in the final, from 8th finish in week 1. She's 2 points away from finishing in the top 2.
Tell you what, you have to feel for whoever is going to come out on the wrong end of this scoreline, because Gray's so close to getting it done in comprehensive straights, and Maloney to fight back so hard and fall at the final hurdle, that would also be brutal. It's tough times out here.
Eight, 5, Maloney.
Could we possibly see the reverse? Gray taking the first step of the comeback.
let for serve.
Oh, she missed it.
8-6.
Oh, it's the shot she wanted on the side. She wanted it.
Maloney.
There are more twists and turns in this.
Totally unpredictable.
Beth Grey just needing a couple of extra seconds. And this has been brutal and bruising. She's feeling a bit dizzy.
We mentioned that allergic reaction that she had a few days ago and was struggling to come back from that. So she's had some moments where she's not quite felt herself this week. And you could see how wearying this match was right from the first set. That was an hour or so ago now of high intensity tennis.
Yeah, this is brutal on both players. There's the backhand working on that occasion as again Grey leans forward in some discomfort, but Eliz Maloney, what a turnaround this has been to this point from 1-5 down in the second set. She has saved 6 match points and now brought up match points of her own in the champions tiebreak. On her serve to complete the comeback.
Game, set and match.
And the comeback is complete for Eliz Maloney, the 20-year-old who finished 8th in week 1, books her spot in the week 2 final. What an encounter it has been between these two. Bruising. But it's Eliz Maloney who comes through from 1-5 down in the second set, saving 6 match points along the way to complete the comeback and book her place. They're very happy. Behind that mask, Jo Jury as her charge will play in tomorrow's final against Emily Appleton.
Oh, she should be so proud of herself. 6-3 down, was broken to close the first set, 5-1 down, and I distinctly remember referring to that final, well, potentially final game of the second set. 5-1 Beth Grey, potentially the final service game of the match, I said, and you always have to have that potentially, that word there, because especially with a fighter like Eliz Maloney, you just never know. And she took it point by point. She faced match points, she faced break points, she kept going, she kept fighting, and more getting that backhand into play and driving it in some key moments. And I think you can just throw the stats out of the window because it came down to that match tiebreak and Maloney accelerating at the end. Have to feel for Beth Grey. Clearly dizzy at the end, clearly the taxing nature of the match taking its toll, and that is going to be a painful defeat. She left it all out there, but Eliz Maloney, what a comeback, what a win. And 2 of 2 with Jo Jury sat courtside watching on, so I think she'll have her back for the final.
Yeah, I think Jo Jury is going to be her lucky charm. Might take her on tour with her when things open up. So, Joe, you're coming with me. But what a win for the 20-year-old. She had that big win against Freya Christie that we've spoken about. But to come through this contest, incredible stuff from Eliz Maloney, just getting her breath up. We are going to be hearing from her, but she's just getting her breath back with the medical team are out to see Beth Grey, who we saw was in some discomfort towards the end of the champions tiebreak. So she will be assessed to check she's okay, and the blood pressure will be checked. And Eliz Maloney looking on, concerned, checking that she's okay. You can see the smiling eyes of Joe Jury. It's hard to tell sometimes with the masks on, but you can see the smiling eyes there. But what a turnaround, what a fight back from this young lady.
Such resilience, and that kind of attitude is going to take her a long way. It can be half the battle. I've got to feel for Beth so much. She's put so much into this. And, you know, she doesn't show much great. She's so level with the way that she composes herself, the way she goes about things. If she takes a breather like she did in that match tiebreak, you know there's an issue. She doesn't overreact. She's such a fighter, grafter, worker. Deserves all the credit for that.
Yeah, 2 hours and 37 minutes of bruising, battling tennis between these two. And Eliz Maloney just watching on to check that Beth Grey is okay with the medical team around her. But wow, both these players feeling it. Emily Appleton yet to drop a set, feet up, watching on as these two went toe to toe. So we wait to see if Beth Grey is all right, and very shortly we'll also be hearing from Eliz Maloney, who's made it through to the Week 2 final. I'm in the commentary box.
the incredible comeback from Eliz Maloney there. Seriously, comeback queen here tonight at the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre. Set 5-1 down and then 5-1 down in the tiebreak as well. And you came back and you took it in the championship tiebreak. Firstly, where on earth did you learn to get that fighting spirit from?
I'm just a very competitive person and I really hate losing, so yeah.
Well, that's pretty obvious, that's for sure, Eliz. Congratulations, you're now in the final of week 2 of UK Pro League. At that point, when you were down 5-1 and 5-1 in the tiebreak, what were you thinking in order to come back?
I mean, there's always a part of you that thinks no matter the lead you can do it, but I think it was so far away that it just took the pressure off and I just started swinging a bit more freely and then just took each point at a time and it just slowly built up.
Was it stressful? Because all of us watching could not believe the rallies that were going on. I mean, there were 20 plus shots, rally after rally, and let's not forget this is the 6th day of competition.
Yeah, every rally did feel really long, but I've been working really hard and during lockdown working on my fitness, so I just thought the longer the better in a way, like I'm feeling fit.
So you like a marathon on the court then?
I wouldn't say I like it, but if I have to do it, then yeah.
Well, you were 8th in week 1 of UK Pro League. Now you're in the final. And let's be honest, you've beaten Freya Christie, the top-ranked player, in the draw. And then now you've just defeated Beth Grey, the second top-ranked player as well. How pleased are you with the type of tennis you're playing?
Very pleased, especially to build from the first week. But I just think everyone here is just playing well and a different day, a different result can come.
And what about, you've got Jo Jury with you. I think she's just over there. She's been taking pictures and videos. How great has it been for you to have her these last few days, especially ahead of tomorrow's final?
Yeah, definitely really helpful, especially because Jo's, been at a higher level than this, so she knows how to deal with the pressures and everything that comes along with it.
And you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're going to let you go and recover and rest because what a battle out there this evening. Well done, Eliz.
Thank you.
And Gigi, where are you? There you are. Oh my goodness me. You were in the commentary box for the entire duration of that. And it just kept going and going and going. But it was the high level of tennis too, wasn't it? It was quite remarkable.
I think I need a bit of time to recover. That was absolutely incredible what Eliz Maloney did to turn that around. But as you said, the level, the shot making from both of them. I mean, you saw Beth Grey towards the end. They both pride themselves on their fitness, but they were taken to the edge and beyond in that contest. It was quite extraordinary what we witnessed. And for Eliz Maloney, 20 years of age, to be 8th in week 1 and now to be contesting her first final.
It's just quite incredible indeed. And a part of me wonders whether there's other players, this is obviously a league, there's other players watching and seeing what Eliz did there tonight. Is she sending maybe a bit of a message to say, look how much of a fighter I am. I'm going to fight literally to the bitter end and face multiple match points.
Well, I think this is the wonderful thing about this competition, that you can finish 8th and the next week she's challenging to actually be the week 2 winner. But it'll give a lot of confidence to a lot of people. But the fight she showed, but they both found themselves, when coming from behind, would step it up and get themselves the lead. It was topsy-turvy, it was this way and that. But the resilience that she showed, not even talking about the fitness that both of them displayed out here, but the resilience to turn it around and just to keep wiping out one point, going on to the next, wiping out the next one and coming through was quite extraordinary, to the point that when it came to the champions tiebreak, we didn't dare call it in the commentary box. I mean, you'd have been a fool to try and call that at the beginning of the tiebreak.
Oh, it was just incredible scenes. And it could have gone either way, even to the bitter end there. It was Eliz who led 8-4, went back to 8-6. You just didn't know what was going to happen.
Absolutely no. It was unbelievable between the two. You felt that maybe Beth Grey would be able to pull it through with her experience, but you think back to the week that Eliz Maloney has had, that win against Freya Christie, it stands out. The reason we keep talking about it was such an important win for her. And now to have Jo Jury in her corner, I've got a feeling that Jo's going to have to be with her a fair few more times because she's turning out to be the lucky charm for Eliz Maloney.
She certainly is. As when Jo showed up on Wednesday, I mean, Eliz has just been in impeccable form. It's just fantastic to see. Well, we've barely caught our breath from that last match, rounding off semi-final day here in the week 2 of UK Pro League 2021. Let's run through the results from today because it's been quite an incredible day so far. It was Anton Matusevic who got things off to a winning start. He is in the final. He will face Mark Whitehouse in what is set to be quite an interesting contest, that's for sure. Anton Matusevic defeated Sean Hodkin in straight sets. Matusevic yet to drop a set. Then Emily Appleton, well, she is just one to watch. She is back-to-back finals, 13 straight matches for Emily Appleton, dispatching Alice Gillen 6-2, 6-love. Then, well, Mark Whitehouse took the opening set, dropped the second, and came through to defeat Dan Cox in championship tiebreak for the first time ever in his career. And then to round things off, Eliz Maloney defeated Beth Grey in the championship tiebreak to make the final of week 2 of UK Pro League 2021. Just running through those results, absolutely exhausted from all of that. I mean, Gigi, my next question was going to be, what are your highlights from today? But I think certainly that last match has got to be up there.
I just want to go with the day. We talked about Super Saturday last week, and it's matched it, if not gone one better this time round. To see Emily Appleton continue the form that she's been in, to see Anton Matusevic and the focus and some of the shot making from Matusevic earlier today. You run through to see the match with Dan Cox and Mark Whitehouse, and then to finish off as we did with that contest, 2 hours and 37 minutes of brutal, bruising hitting. It was the perfect way to round off our second Super Saturday.
That's exactly what I was going to say to you. We've had 2 consecutive Super Saturday semi-final days. It's not easy to say either.
But we've said it and we've had it.
We've had it indeed. Well, now that we have ended Super Saturday semi-final day, we can now take a look at the order of play for what's set to be a Super Finals day indeed. It is, of course, well, a couple of third, fourth playoff matches to get us going. Alice Gillen will take on Beth Grey. Beth Grey is going to have to somehow recover very quickly indeed. And then the third, fourth playoff in the men's side of things is between 2 very good friends indeed. Dan Cox, who came 4th in week 1, of course, up against Sean Hodkin, who's had a fantastic week 2 here. Then the women's final. It is, well, Emily Appleton on an emphatic form. She takes on Eliz Maloney. Can Emily Appleton make it back-to-back winners in weeks 1 and 2? And then finally rounding things off, it is Anton Matusevic taking on Mark Whitehouse, the 2 mathematicians of the field. Gigi, how do we think those finals certainly are going to play out? Because they're quite interesting now.
They're very intriguing. You have to say that Emily Appleton is the heavy favourite just because she's won 13 from 13 and she's dropped just the one set of tennis, and the serve is such a big weapon. And I know she's only 20, but how does Eliz Maloney recover after 2 hours and 37 minutes, and this being her 7th match in 7th day? So she has to be the heavy favourite going into that one. And when it comes to Anton Matusevic against Mark Whitehouse, I fear for the tennis balls. It's going to be big, blistering ball hitting in that contest between the two. And you've got your top 2 ranked men who are in the contest taking each other on in the final.
Oh, it's going to be one interesting day, that is for sure. Well, that just concludes play here today at the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre. Semi-finals day is done. We have our finals set tomorrow, and tomorrow we will crown 2 more winners of week 2 of UK Pro League 2021. Coverage starts at 12 noon tomorrow, but from all of us here at UK Pro League 2021, good night. We'll see you tomorrow.